Welcome to White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Today we're doing a walkthrough demonstration of some of the major systems operations and features of this 2015 pre-owned Jayco Jay Feather 26 BHSW. This is an SLX model. We're going to walk you through some of the highlights and operations. At the front of the camper, we do have a power tongue jack here. You would raise or lower right here with the push buttons. You can also turn it on or off with the light. And if you lost electrical, there is a hole here. You would open this up and use a crank handle to manually raise or lower the jack. Twin propane bottles on the front. Make sure the valves are set to open, and you have an automatic regulator shown here. So it's going to show you the direction of the tank it's pulling from. And once that side of the tank is empty, the color will switch from green usually to orange or red, depending on the manufacturer of the auto regulator. And then that would show you your drawing from the other tank, and you could get this one topped off. There is also a propane cover with hinged lid access to reach your valves. Battery on the front. Down this side of the camper, you'll see pass-through storage. You have your jack handles for your stabilizer jacks, as well as for raising and lowering the power tongue jack manually. You would hook up the jack handle here to raise or lower the jacks. Outside shower is located on this side as well with hot and cold water. And this is a keyed door that will lock for transit. This is the back of your furnace. This vents warm air, so you want to make sure this area is clear of any hoses, chairs, that kind of thing. In normal operation, it is correct to have warm air venting from that. And again, that's for your propane furnace heater. You have a low point drain access here, which is a pipcock valve under the trailer. You could drain down some of the fresh water from your onboard water tank from that location. You also have your dump valves at the back. So you have two gray water tanks. Handles are up underneath, as well as a black holding tank. Hook up your sewer hose here, which is included with the model. A good tip is to let your black, which is toilet waste, accumulate for a couple of days. Pull that black valve to drain the toilet tank. Then pull the gray valves and let that soapy water wash through those lines. You also have city water connection here. So if you want to hook up your hose to be hooked up to campground water, and your cable input here. So if your campground has cable, that's where that would go. There is another low point drain at the back, in addition to your other stabilizer jack. And then you have your power cord, which is self-storing. You're going to take this and just put it back in through, and once you get that in the plug-in, you can click that in place for locking. Sewer hose is usually located in your bumper, so you can see new sewer kit in there for you. And the bumper cap, make sure you push that all the way back on for travel. Back in the camper, you have access to the water heater. This is a drop-down panel. Of note here, you want to make sure this area is kept clean, free of debris or spider webs, because they can wreak havoc with your system. This can be lit from the inside, so really the only thing you want to note here is there is a nylon plug. You would take that plug out and drain the water down for winterizing, and make sure to only replace it with a nylon plug. There's good instructions on the inside of the water heater door panel, which shows you how to operate as well. And then this would come up, close, and lock with that toggle switch. This may also vent warm air in normal operation. On the door side of the camper, you have lockable storage compartments, outside speakers. Freshwater fill is here under the window. This is for filling your onboard freshwater tank. You also have electrical here. And you can see your awning lights here as well. Front compartment. Again, access to your crank handles, nice place to store them. Coming up inside the camper, we'll walk you through some of the systems and operations. On the steps, they're going to flip and fold. So bottom step folds on top, and then this whole mechanism lifts up and back and away for storage. To open the steps, pull and just fold down the bottom step. Coming up into your entry door, systems monitor panel is located here, as well as your slide control and your awning switch. So we'll just show you that awning operation. It is electric operated. We're going to hit the out button. We're going to hear the awning motor and see the awning unravel here. Please make sure to keep your awning in if it's windy or rainy. You can see some water dripping. We just gave this one a bath. Light switches are here, so you can turn overhead lights on and off with the switches. Make sure that the switch on the light itself is turned in the on position in order to utilize that wall switch. You also have your systems monitor panel. That's going to show your battery level, tank levels, freshwater, black tank, gray tanks, so you can check your levels. A good tip on the black tank, toilet tank, about 2/3 full. You want to empty that out, and then, like I said, on the outside you can drain the black tank and then pull your gray valves to let the soapy water wash through that. Slide control is here for in or out. So if we're going to retract the slide out, we're going to hit the button here. We're going to see the slide out start to move. It will come all the way in for travel. That clicking is normal operation. That tells you when the slide is fully cycled. It may do that all the way in or all the way out. And this is drawing from the battery. Okay. All the way in or out is where your slide is level, flush, and also sealed tight. So make sure to operate it all the way in or out, not leave it halfway. At the bottom, near the floor area, is your propane leak detector and carbon monoxide. That does draw from the battery. So if you're going to be stored for a while not using the camper, it's recommended that you disconnect your battery, just attach it, maybe store it inside a nice warm garage area or shed area. We'll keep it nice. That will have a small draw. So if you get to a low battery on that, your battery, it may start to chirp. And this propane leak detector can be kind of noisy. So normal operation, there's a test reset button here, and just make sure that you do have battery draw, good strong battery available, or if you're going to be away from the camper, it's a good idea to remove that battery so that propane leak detector doesn't pull down and draw on that battery. Thermostat here at the entry door, you have cooling, heating, as well as fan setting. So to operate the air conditioner, bump it to cool. You can select auto, high or low. There is a normal delay on either the air or heat, and you'll hear it kick on and the compressor will start to run for air conditioning. You can choose lower high settings or leave it on automatic and let it cycle per the temperature set here. Your air conditioning ducts are in the ceiling. You can control these by opening or closing. And then this is your main air intake. It has a chill grill, so you could air dump some cool air or close it off. And then of note, these two grill areas on the side do have filters behind them that once a season is a good idea to take down, shake out, dust off. You can vacuum them, just keep them clean. Heat ducts are on the floor, and you're going to see intake for heater up under the stove. Your heat's going to rise and your air conditioning is going to lower. Coming up into the bedroom area, you'll see air conditioning vent overhead, heat duct down below, so you can see what that looks like. Try to get you in there. Also in the master bedroom is an emergency exit window. So I'm going to put the day-night shade up. That's just the nightshade rather up. You would lift and push out on this. This can stay propped open for air ventilation. To use it as an emergency exit window, you would push the whole window out for access through the window. And then for closing, you're going to lift it gently and latch that into position. Okay, and then your shades, again, can recess up under your valance, and those are our room darkening nightshade. Overhead lights have switches on them for reading, as well as you have an overhead light here, and the switches are right on the lights themselves. Very easy operation. Coming into your kitchen area, for your stove, you do have a direct spark ignition. So for lighting the burner, you want to follow the diagram here. Turn it to light, and then you use your sparker, and you can adjust the level of flame here. In the oven, the pilot is located at the back. You do want to set it to light here, and then you want to use, you can see the pilot light there. You want to use an aim a flame or some kind of long match to access to light the oven. Microwave is what you expect, just like you would have a home microwave. It operates plugged into electric shore power only. Overhead exhaust and light. Coming up through your living area. Stereo is along the wall. I'm going to turn that off because we have it on right now. We also have a mounting bracket located here if you wanted to install a TV. There are TV hookups here right underneath the stereo along the base of the cabinet. Of note here, if you were using TV antenna, there is a booster switch here. If you can see that green light go on. So if you're hooked up to cable, there's no need to use that booster switch. But if you're using the onboard TV antenna, this would actually clean up your signal coming in TV antenna. 2 bunk beds here. Again, lights and wall switches there for the bunks. Emergency exit window also at the bunk area, operates the same way as the one forward. Furnace vents in the floor. Coming back into the bath area, a couple things to note. You do have wall switches, so that's for your light. This one's for your fan. To have the fan operate with the wall switch, you need to have the switch on the fan itself in the on position. There's also a knob here you would rotate to raise the fan, the vent there, and then you can see very easy with the wall switch. There is a main GFI outlet at the bath area. So this is behind the sink. If you had any kind of electrical issue, you could come here, test and reset right here. This is tied into the whole camper, so this is a good place to test and reset, make sure it's working correctly. Toilet operation. This is a hand flush toilet. So you're gonna pull and it's gonna open and rinse the bowl. If you do just want a little bit of water in the bowl, pull it part way and that's gonna fill up. And if you do see pink here, there's probably still some antifreeze being flushed through, as this one had antifreeze in it for winterization. Any specific questions, please feel free to give a call or refer to the Jayco Owner's Manual. We're happy to help with any questions that come up. Again, this is a feature benefit walkthrough. Some of the systems and operations of a 2015 Jayco Jay Feather SLX 26 BHSW. At the base of the refrigerator is your main fuse panel and breaker box. So this just pops open, and this gives you access to fuses and also your breakers. This does have a fan and will vent. You may hear it run occasionally. It keeps that area cool. That's normal operation. And then your refrigerator can work off of propane, electric, or automatically. You can also have a temperature setting here, 1 being cold, 5 being the coldest. Sometimes between 3 or 4 seems to be good unless it's really humid in August or in the middle of summertime. For fridge operation, if you leave it set to automatic, that's recommended. Automatically, it will power a cooling unit running off of propane. If you were to plug in at the campground, it will shut the propane side off and switch over to operate on electric. Likewise, when you unplug from a campground, it will automatically switch to power the propane side again, so everything stays nice and cool. For storage, there are little pop levers you can put out right here, and that's just nice to get some fresh air in the unit, keep the doors cracked a little bit for storage. Any particular questions on this one, feel free to give us a call. We hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough of some of the features and operations. We wish you much happy RVing ahead. Have a great day.